Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to Kottabos Space Program, where today we are having a look at near future construction, which is the next part in our little mini-series about near future technologies, which is of course being made by forum user Nearty. And what this glorious little parts pack looks to add into the game is a whole lot of different structural pieces. Basically, if you like building with trusses in this game, this is the mod pack for you. There are trusses galore, so let's just jump right on into the VAB and have a gander at what all it does add. Now let's, as usual, grab a Mark 1-2 command pod for size comparison. I'm actually going to drag it up a little bit because some of the parts are pretty long, and then we're going to start out with actually a non-structural part. A command pod, more specifically an unmanned girder guidance unit. I don't know why, but that name just amuses me, that it's a girder guidance unit and is a unmanned command pod with data transmitter, of course Kerbin access. It has a reaction wheel, SAS, and 30 electric charge. And it's a beautiful little addition for if you, say for instance, are working on constructing your space station and long before you ever care to have people up there, you know, you can throw one of these on and it'll still function as a station, because, well, probe. And it is a pretty impressive looking piece of technology there. I do love the look of it, the detailing, as per usual with any Nearty parts. It's just very awesome. Let's actually get a little bit of a further zoom in on that. You can see all the bits and bobs for the SAS and reaction wheel, etc. Very cool indeed. Now with that, let us head down to the structural tab where, actually no, we're gonna go to the couplings tab because basically everything is in structural, but we do have a couple of parts over here in coupling, so let's just get these out of the way and then we'll move to the bulk of the parts in structural. Now we have 5 different docking ports in here that sort of fit in with the girder designs. Now the first one we have is the modular annular truss docking connector, and there are these large circular trusses we'll get to momentarily in structural that, as you can see, fit a very large over 3 meter size form factor and, well, give you the ability to dock 2 large truss sections together. And it's basically just a ginormous docking port, and that's pretty cool. Now the next one we have is for the octagonal trusses, for specifically docking those things together. And if we pop, actually, let's take off the command pod, just pop this thing right up there. So actually the same sort of style of truss that the command probe was is for this one right here, and so you can dock those sort of girder sections together. We then have the octo girder docking connector right here, which as you can see fits in that octagonal girder, but then is a more normal size docking port in the center of it, which is quite cool. We then, if we pop both of these off, then have a octo girder heavy docking connector, which has the same octo girder design for the main bit, and then a 2.5 meter docking port right there for connecting together your ships. Quite cool. And then the final one is, oh boy, the modular spinal truss, and the spinal truss is another kind of truss, just like with this large circular one. This is a large square design of truss, and again, just a nice docking system, so you can hook 2 of those spinal trusses together. Very nice, very convenient to have for if you are sending up part after part for building, say, a large ship or a large space station. So that is the different docking ports we do have for these, so let's go actually look at the proper trusses themselves. And oh, we have so many things here. Now the first one we have, we're just going to go straight down the line because there are, well, as you can see, quite a few modular pieces here, and we'll just start with this one right here, the modular annular truss adapter, and it is just a nice size adapter between, oh boy, large sizes of trusses. And so you can go from a larger size to a smaller size, or of course vice versa. Now the next part we have is the same sort of deal, but a much more compact form factor, so much more stout than tall, as you can see, between the two, but we'll still go between the same 2 sizes there, between the 5 meter and 3.75 meter. And what's fun with both of, or no, the larger one I should have shown you. A feature of a lot of the trusses is that they have different styles. So right now, here is the core truss, how it looks with everything, you know, all connected in. We then have a solid core truss, which has a solid core in the center, as you can see there, and then the none, so between the two different designs here. And this is what adds a lot of amazing possibilities with a lot of these trusses, as almost every part, as you can see, has different subtypes between solo, hollow, parts with solid cores. Look at all the different types this one has right here. So you have a lot of ability to customize your trusses to exactly what you desire, and that is pretty impressive. So the next part we have is a modular hexagirder adapter. This one for, you know, adapting a 1.25 circular ship design to the triangular sort of truss system here, which goes of course with these fellas. There we are, so you can make your round ship go to, well, not quite so round, and that is a good thing. Now as for this one, this does not have different subtypes as it is kind of a small piece, but will adapt between the two quite nicely. Now remember that large circular one that we had the docking port for? Well, here we go. The multi-purpose annular truss. Oh boy, these things are big. And we have them in multiple sizes here. So we have the large, the small, and then a medium size variety. So just whatever size you do need, you just put it into that purpose. And pretty much all of them are going to have 4 different pieces that you can change the look of. So for instance, the core could either be none or solid, and we have a central column going down there. Let's actually remove this one here so we can see the large one a bit better. And then in the outer truss, which is of course the exterior bit, we either have solid where we have all these piping bits all the way around, and we could go to saddle where only half of it is open and half of it is enclosed, and then of course hollow, so we just have these 2 main bars going on either side. Now we'll go back to the solid. We then have caps for the top and the bottom, which right now are pretty much open to everything, and we can just make them solid, and same deal with the bottom. And frankly, I quite like it with the core, and you can just kind of mix and match these however you like, again, to get just the right design for your station, and that is pretty cool. And again, it comes in the large, medium, or small sizes. Now for the, I almost forgot, there's also the extra large. The reason why I made our command pod go so far up. Look at the size of this thing. That is just freaking massive, and of course has all the same different parts in here, which is, oh boy, a lot of things, a whole lot of things. We then have the hexagirders, which again just come in a variety of sizes. So we have that there, and I'm a little bit lost. There we are. So the large, medium, and small of these hexagirder S1, hexagirder L1, and hexagirder M1. Now as for the styling on these, let's pop that one off. There we go. We either have the solid or the hollow. Those are your 2 options, and I actually quite like the hollow version of this. I don't know why, but it intrigues me. Compared to typically a lot of the girders, I prefer the solid, but the hollow one for this one I quite enjoy. Now the next bit we have is the modular multi-purpose octo girder. Oh yay. Oh, this one has a lot of options. As you can see, not only do we have different styling, solid, hollow, saddle, open, etc., but we also have resources we can fill it with, so liquid fuel and oxidizer, etc., going on down. Now that only works in this particular size, this one right here, the modular multipurpose octo girder. The smaller sized octo girder, the octo girder micro, only has the styling options, and same thing with the nano, the even smaller girder section right there. And, well, we do have, though, the different fuel options on the XL. And, well, that just means you have basically this freaking size of a fuel tank, which is quite fun. So let's actually show that off with the XL, as it'll be the easiest to see. Now, for the different designs, we have the solid, we then have the hollow, much like with the hexagirders here, except now we just have 4 different columns. We then have the saddle, which we have one section open without a girder on it. And then the open design, where we just have the 2. And then we get into the different fuel types. So here we go, liquid fuel and oxidizer, holding 2,700 liquid fuel, 3,300 oxidizer, and it is a beautiful looking tank. And it's basically going to look exactly the same in the octogirder, just a more compacted version of this. So they'll look identical, just smaller. And then we also have just purely liquid fuel, giant freaking tank holding 6,000 right there. Then have just oxidizer, again holding 6,000, slightly different looking design to it, very fun. The mission support, which is my personal favorite. I love the look of this thing, and this is holding 1,500 monopropellant and 9,000 electric charge. So from the looks of things, we got the monopropellant going down the central column and the electric charge and all these batteries on the outside, and that is pretty cool. We then have the xenon gas, which has all these fun little storage containers for that, and if in the smaller size, the just regular octogirder, it's just 2 of these rather than the full 4. And then finally we have ore, where it will be able to hold 6,000 ore there, so you can, you know, make your mining ships. And that right there, the octogirder and the octogirder XL, are probably my 2 favorite parts in this, because you have all those different options between both styling and resources, and they just look darn good. Like, we have that giant ore container. Now for this one, let's go for some xenon gas down there. And you'll also notice we have this part info button. You may have noticed it on some other parts. I didn't really mention it because, well, it just shows you all your mass, etc., and costs, which, I mean, is useful info, but it's off by default, so I rarely ever turn it on. But yes, there we go, the fun and wonderful octogirders. Now the next part we have is a modular octogirder adapter, which, like with the hexagirder adapter earlier, will go from a rounded design to the girder design. In this case, of course, the 2.5 meter rounded design to the girders, lovely and very useful. We then start getting some angular adapters. So right now here we have the octogirder angular connector, which if we just, there we go, that'll fit. And for this one, the different styling options you can choose are just the degree of the angle, which makes it pretty interesting. So you could use these to make a full circular rounded section for a ship if you want to go with either like the 35 or 45 degree angled, or just stick with the 90 for a nice solid bend. Very cool, very useful, and really great to build with these. And like I said, with like the 30 degree, you can make some pretty awesome large circular girders, and they are, oh, they're impressive to work with. Alright, the next section we have here, I actually think I got a little bit ahead of myself with a few things. Oh, no, we're good. We are, in fact, on this one. The trouble with everything looking the same, it's all just a load of girders. So let's actually move this down a bit so I can tell a bit better. There we go. That's where we're at. And this one, we have no styling options, as it is purely just a 6-way adapter for the Octo Hub grid system, or Octogirder grid system rather, so you can go in any direction you please. Actually, let's leave that on there momentarily. And then we actually have a really fun part here. If you wish to build another girder, say going off in a direction radially, we do have radial attach nodes, so we can like attach that right there. So we have now a truss system that can go off in that direction. Now these are really designed more to be put along more rounded objects than other girders, of course, but you know what, yeah, it still works. And yeah, so you can make your girders go off in any which direction you desire just by placing one of these on there. So very, very useful indeed. And oh, I forgot to show it again, we have styling options where we have angled hollow, ortho, and then ortho hollow. So those are our different styling options there. Very fun to have, again, just for making it just what you desire. Now the next thing we have is a modular pressurized octo girder, so it's the same deal as the normal octo girder, but now we have a pressurized tube to send Kerbals through. It does of course have lights that come on, and of course the different subtypes of styles of either the hollow, solid, etc. Now we do have it in a couple other sizes here. We have this is the medium size, this is the small size, we then have the extra large size, and then also a adapter version right here, so we can go from a 2.5 rounded section to the typical girder section here, and it's supposed to be pressurized just like these, you know, technically, however that works in this game. So there we go, some beautiful parts, all will share that same styling, which is always convenient. Oop, did not mean to click off that, there we go. Now the next is the modular, oh wait, nope, back here, another modular octogrid section. So we have a hub going in 6 ways, this one being pressurized, so it'll share the same look as these other bits and bobs, but it is a more, you know, hub type of part for going whatever direction you require. Now we have the modular spinal truss. There we go. And again, multiple sizes for this. We have that one being the large, here's the small, here is the medium, and of course an adapter, so we can go from the 2.5 rounded to the, you know, spinal truss design here, and we'll share a variety of different types again, where we have the core, where we can make either solid or none, the truss being solid, saddle, dual, or frame in this one, and then the top cap and end caps, which can either be solid or none at all, or the basic just framework there. So you have that for all these other bits and bobs, always useful, and again, very cool parts. Let's pass these all over here. We then have a modular spinal truss series 3 adapter, which is just another adapter that I missed earlier, so to go from the 3.75 meter design into the modular truss, and again just has a core or none there. We then have, that's in the normal game. Alright, we have another pressurized section that I forgot to mention with these other pressurized ones, this being, of course, well, you know, angled. And just like the other one, we can angle it to different degrees, either 45 or 30, again making it very useful and very cool for building rounded sections, or, you know, just angling off a piece off of your ship. Very fun indeed. And then we have down here to some more adapter parts. We have the Rocco Max, that is, no, these are, yeah, with how many structural parts, I sometimes get confused as to which ones are which. This one is the skeletal structural adapter here. Let's pop that on, and it will go between a 2.5 and 1.25 design. We then have a similar one going between the 2.5 and 3.75. And then we have a multi-adapter system here, which, if we pop down there, is fun because you have the option of adding engines to the bottom of this. So you can see we have 3 different attachment points right now, but we can actually change that from 2, which means 2 on the outside, 1 in the center, to 4, again 4 on the outside, 1 in the center, to 6, and to 8. So you can attach all sorts of freaking engines on there, which is very, very fun. We then have another one of these, the SM2 stack dual adapter, which is just a smaller version, and it just has the 2 engine ports right there. We then have the SM3, again, just a smaller size and a triple adapter. And then the 4, which is, well, of course, quadruple. And then the final 2 parts here are radial adapters, which are quite cool. We have the 5-med radial stack adapter, which can just fit on radially to anywhere, and the 5-mini, so just 2 different sizes, so you can pop that out from the side of your ship, and then build on either side of them, whichever way you care to go, to make some really pretty interesting things, and I do enjoy it. And yeah, that is all of the different parts for near near future construction, and I love this mod. You can make some pretty cool spaceships and space stations and bases, etc. with these parts. Now, of course, as per usual, I do have something in orbit to sort of show off what you can do. Now, it's not like the monstrosity that we had in the last episode with Near Future Solar. This one's a bit more sensibly designed. I just very quickly, in just a couple of minutes, threw together a basic idea of a little spaceship you could make with this thing. So, we've got our, lovely normal command pods there and there to act as our bridges and observation post. We have the pressurized section allowing our crew to get between things, a nice little science lab for them, all being connected by all these beautiful trusses. Now we have these ones being the modular multi-purpose ones with the monopropellant and electric charge, and then down here we have the xenon gas, and right there I threw in some ore just for the hell of it. And then of course we have the angled pressurized sections holding it all together, and then those wonderful trusses that hold all those engines in the back, so we can have a ton of just standard in-game Dawn electric propulsion systems. Now, of course, if you had near future electrical on here or something, and near future anything of the other parts designs, you could use their engines, their other bits and bobs, and be quite happy. And we even do have a little docking port here for if we do want to back up into someplace. There we go, a lovely little thing. And yeah, just overall a very fun little design that I threw together, again, just in a couple of minutes to show this off and to give you guys an idea of the possibilities with this. And they are so freaking endless, especially with things like these octogirder multi-purpose systems where you can change it between styles or different resources. You've got these angled truss bits where you can change the angle of them, so if you'd like, you can make circular sections with them. I was going to do that for this episode, but even though I do like building those with these trusses, I've done it plenty of times in the past, my god, is it time consuming. You just gotta take every one of those things, fit them together just perfectly for it to actually function properly. But you know what? When you do build it, you can make some pretty awesome ships with it. And it's just overall a great little pack, giving you a lot of great structural possibilities. So if you would like to check this mod out for yourself, which I definitely suggest that you should, you can take a look at the link in the description as always, and definitely go have fun with it, build some crazy spaceships and space stations, etc., and enjoy all the beautiful structural parts. But yeah, that is going to be it for this installment of Near Future Technologies, this one of course being Near Future Construction. We have one more part of Near Future Technologies to go over, which I wasn't sure when it was going to come out at first, so I wasn't sure if it was going to be a part of this series, but it just came out a couple of days ago, and that is Near Future Spacecraft. And that will have command pods, liquid fuel, oxygen engines, etc. So some very cool parts with that. And that will be the last part of our Near Future Technologies mini-series. So please do come back for that in the next episode. And of course, I hope you have enjoyed today. And if you would care to help support the channel, take a look at the Patreon links in the description and of course on the end slate. And hopefully come and join us in our Discord chat so you can come and talk with the community and of course myself. But that's going to be it for today, folks. I hope you have enjoyed, that you do come back for Near Future Spacecraft. But until that time, thank you for watching, and as always, have a good one. Now let's set off these engines and fly somewhere. I don't know where, but I mean, we got the engines for it. Later, folks.